Grr. Got a call from the church. A recording. Always something to interrupt me. Always are best. I should like to do that. And can I in a better way than leading the life other girls lead just for a little while? She added as her uncle's face grew grave. He was disappointed, yet acknowledged the desire was natural, and in a moment saw that a trial of this sort might have its advantages. Nevertheless, he dreaded it, for he had intended to choose her society carefully and try to keep her unspoiled by the world as long as possible, like many another fond parent and guardian. But the spirit of Eve is strong, and all her daughters' forbidden fruit will look rosier to them than any in their own orchards, and the temptation to take just one little bite proves irresistible to the wisest. So Rose looking out from the safe seclusion of her girlhood into the woman's kingdom which she was about to take possession of, felt a sudden wish to try its pleasures before assuming its responsibilities, and was too sincere to hide the longing. "Very well, my dear, try it if you like, only take care of your health. Be temperate in your gaiety, and don't lose more than you gain, if that's possible," he added under his breath, endeavoring to speak cheerfully and not look anxious. "I know it's foolish, but I do want to be a regular butterfly for a while and see what it's like. You know I couldn't help seeing a good deal of fashionable life abroad, though we were not in it. And here at home the girls tell me about all sorts of pleasant things that are to happen this winter. So if you won't despise me very much, I should like to try it." "For how long? Would 3 months be too long?" "New York is a good time to take a fresh start. Everyone is going to welcome me, so I must be gay in spite of myself, unless I'm willing to seem very ungrateful and morose," said Rose, glad to have a good reason to offer for her new experiment. "You may like it so well that the 3 months may become years. Pleasure is very sweet when we are young." "Do you think it will intoxicate me?" "We shall see, my dear." "We shall," and Rose marched away looking as she had taken a pledge of some sort and meant to keep it. It was a great relief to the public mind when it became known that Miss Campbell was really coming out at last, and invitations to Aunt Plenty's party were promptly accepted. Aunt Clara was much disappointed about the grand ball she had planned, but Rose stood firm, and the dear old lady had her way about everything. The consequence was a delightfully informal gathering of friends to welcome the travelers home. Just a good old-fashioned hospitable housewarming, so simple, cordial, and genuine that those who came to criticize remained to enjoy, and many on the charm that they could neither describe nor imitate. Much curiosity was felt about Phoebe, and much gossip went on behind fans that evening, for those who had known her years ago found it hard to recognize the little housemaid in the handsome young woman who bore herself with such quiet dignity and charmed them all with her fine voice. "Cinderella has turned out a princess," was the general verdict, and Rose enjoyed the little sensation immensely, for she had had many battles to fight for her Phoebe since she came among them, and now her faith was vindicated. Miss Campbell herself was in great demand, and did the honor so prettily that even Miss Bliss forgave her for her sad neglect of Worth. Though she shook her head over the white gowns, just alike except that Phoebe wore crimson and Rose blue trimmings. The girls swarmed eagerly around their recovered friend, for Rose had been a favorite before she went away, and found her throne waiting for her now. The young men privately pronounced Phoebe the handsomest, but then you know there's neither family nor money, so it's no use. Phoebe therefore was admired as one of the ornamental properties belonging to the house and left respectfully alone. But Bonnie Rose was all right, as these amiable youths expressed it, and many a wistful eye followed the bright head as it flitted about the rooms, as if it were a second golden fleece to be won with difficulty, for stalwart kinsmen hedged it round, and watchful aunts kept guard. Little wonder that the girl found her new world an enchanting one, and that her first sip of pleasure rather went to her head, for everybody welcomed and smiled on her, flattered and praised, whispered agreeable prophecies in her ear, and looked the compliments and congratulations they dared not utter, till she felt as if she must have left her old self somewhere abroad and suddenly become a new and wonderfully gifted being. "It's very nice, Uncle, and I'm not sure I mayn't want another 3 months of it when the first are gone," she whispered to Dr. Alec, as he stood watching the dance she was leading with Charlie in the long hall after supper. "Steady, my lass, steady, and remember that you're not really a butterfly, but a mortal girl with a head that will ache tomorrow," he answered, watching the flushed and smiling face before him. "I almost wish there wasn't any tomorrow, but that tonight would last forever. It's so pleasant, and everyone so kind," she said with a little sigh of happiness as she gathered up her fleecy skirts like a white bird pluming itself for flight. "I'll ask your opinion about that at 2 a.m., began her uncle with a warning nod. "I'll give it honestly," was all Rose had time to say, for Charlie swept her away into the party-colored cloud before them. "It's no use, Alec. Train a girl as wisely as you choose. She will break loose when the time comes and go in for pleasure as eagerly as the most frivolous, for 'tis their nature to," said Uncle Mac, keeping time to the music as if he would not mind going in for a bit of pleasure himself. "My girl shall taste and try, but unless I'm much mistaken, a little bit of it will satisfy her. I want to see if she will stand the test, because if not, all my work is a failure, and I'd like to know it," answered the doctor, with a hopeful smile on his lips but an anxious look in his eyes. She'll come out all right, bless her heart, so let her sow her innocent wild oats and enjoy herself till she is ready to settle down. I wish all our young folks were likely to have a smaller crop and get through as safely as she will," added Uncle Mac with a shake of the head, as he glanced at some of the young men revolving before him. "Nothing amiss with your lads, I hope?" "No, thank heaven. So far I've had little trouble with either, though Mac is an odd stick and Steve a puppy. I don't complain, for both will outgrow that sort of thing and are good fellows at heart, thanks to their mother. But Clara's boy is in a bad way, and she will spoil him as a man as she has as a boy if his father doesn't interfere. I told Brother Stephen all about them when I was in Calcutta last year, and he wrote to the boy, but Clara has got no end of plans in her head, and so she insisted on keeping Charlie a year longer when his father ordered him off to India," replied the doctor as they walked away. It is too late to order. Charlie is a man now, and Stephen will find he's been too easy with them all these years. Poor fellow, it's been a hard lines for him, and it's likely to be harder, I fancy, unless he comes home and straighten things out. He won't do that if he can help it. He has lost all his energy living in that climate and hates worry more than ever. So you can imagine what an effort it would be to manage a foolish woman and a headstrong boy. We must lend a hand, Mac, and do our best for poor old Steve. The best we can do for the lad is to marry and settle him as soon as possible. My dear fellow, he's only 3 and 20, began the doctor, as if the idea was preposterous. Then a sudden change came over him as he added with a melancholy smile, I forget how much one can hope and suffer even at 23. And I know that's not too much, but I got to get ready for tea in a little bit. 5 at 5, tea with Granny D. So I'll stop there. I may come back on later and finish it up today. But I still hadn't packed, got stuff to do. Look what I found today at Dollar Tree. A bag of millions. This was they didn't have a whole lot. This was the most interesting bag. The other just looked like nothing special skeins, but these are balls of I don't know what, but they are amazingly soft. Now it's a number 1. Kind of reminds me of this, but it's not sparkly. And the bag was $5, and I've got 5 balls of this. It's got right much yardage. I'd say probably at least 300 yards in each one. At least. Anywho, I'll show it today at live at 5 in a little bit. Lordy, about 30 minutes. Lord. Go make my tea and get stuff ready. See you soon, I hope. Bye-bye.